My sister blamed me for ruining her marriage, and I just got tired of defending myself, so I let the family dinner where she needed my support become her ultimate confession. My sister could honestly sell ice to polar bears and leave them thanking her for the privilege, because she had this uncanny gift for twisting reality until she was always standing right at the center as the victim. Her marriage to Cole lasted 4 years, and from the outside, they looked completely perfect with their annual vacations, matching Christmas sweaters, and a house in the suburbs with a golden retriever, but behind closed doors, it was a totally different documentary. My sister spent money way faster than Cole could ever earn it, hiding secret credit cards and sneaking shopping deliveries into the house, and she even maxed out their joint accounts twice and blamed it on banking errors. Cole finally discovered the financial destruction when they tried to refinance their mortgage, and he found $40,000 in debt he knew absolutely nothing about, prompting him to file for divorce within the month. That's exactly when my sister completely rewrote history, and according to her new narrative, I was the ultimate villain. She told our parents, our aunts, our cousins, and anyone who would listen that I had been feeding Cole lies about her, claiming I was jealous of her happiness and had deliberately poisoned her husband against her. She claimed the spending problems were just fabrications I invented to make her look bad, making the entire divorce my fault. I tried to defend myself at first by calling relatives to explain the truth and showing my mother text messages proving I barely spoke to Cole at all, but nobody wanted to hear it because my sister cried prettier than I argued, and her tears won over every single jury. After 3 months of fighting a losing battle, I just stopped. I stopped correcting the story, I stopped calling people to plead my case, and I simply went quiet and let her narrative run completely unchallenged. My mother called me cold for not reaching out, and my aunt said my silence was proof of my guilt, but I absorbed it all and just waited because lies that big require constant maintenance, and my sister was never good with upkeep. 6 months after the divorce, my sister announced she was dating someone new named Preston, who worked in commercial real estate, and she started bringing him to Sunday dinners and talking about their future like the past had never even happened. Our family welcomed him warmly because my sister presented herself as a woman healing from a massive betrayal, but Preston was friendly, maybe a little too friendly, and started asking questions about the family dynamics and why I seemed so distant at gatherings. My sister had obviously told him some version of her story because he approached me one evening with sympathetic eyes and said he was truly sorry for what I'd put her through with the divorce situation, but I just smiled politely and said absolutely nothing. The entire unraveling began at my parents' anniversary dinner celebrating 40 years of marriage at a nice Italian restaurant downtown where everyone was present, including both sets of aunts and uncles and all the cousins. Preston sat right beside my sister, looking handsome and attentive, until midway through the meal when my aunt brought up Cole, mentioning she heard he'd gotten engaged to someone new and commenting on how quickly people move on. My sister's face tightened up because she just couldn't help herself, and she glanced at me saying it's easy to move on when someone sabotages your marriage from the inside. Preston looked completely confused and said he thought she told him the divorce was because of financial issues, causing the entire table to go dead silent as my sister froze. In her relentless campaign to be the victim everywhere, she completely forgot to keep her stories aligned, stammering that it was actually both, and that the finances were part of it, but the real reason was interference. Preston frowned and pointed out that she told him she made some mistakes with money, and that Cole had just overreacted, which is why he had been helping her with a budgeting app. Every single relative at that table turned their attention straight to my sister. My mother's fork hung suspended in midair, my aunt leaned forward with narrowed eyes, and my father slowly asked what mistakes with money she was talking about. My sister's lies required me to act as the villain to function, but without my denials fueling the drama, she had gotten way too comfortable and told different people different truths depending on what kind of sympathy she needed. Preston got the version where she took accountability because she wanted him to see her as someone who'd grown, while the family got the version where I destroyed everything because she desperately wanted their pity. She tried to recover, but stumbled through explanations that constantly contradicted each other, and the more she talked, the deeper she buried herself, until Preston excused himself before dessert and officially ended things. Following that, my mother called me 3 days later, her voice sounding incredibly small and apologetic, as she said she owed me a conversation and asked if I could come over, but I let her wait a whole week before I finally agreed. I never actually had to prove my innocence because my sister completely disproved it herself. All I had to do was step back, stay silent, and give her enough rope, and she did the rest without any help from me at all.